Hey, Crown Content Publications followers, viewers, and supporters. Thank you for tuning in to another segment with the Crown Content Publication Services family, where publishing and marketing simply meet. To learn more about our mission to service authors and freelancers in 2022, feel free to visit my website, www.contentcrownpublications.com. Okay, this is where you can find a list of services and more details about who we are and what it is we do, both on the publication services business side for authors and artists, okay, poets and things like that, but also our new edition business consultation services side, because I am a business major and I'd like to start helping you guys out there with your marketing plans, your bookkeeping and things like that, business plans, stuff like that. I'd like to help you guys get that kind of stuff together. All right. So if you saw the title of this segment, it is called Autism Awareness Month. It's also, guys, poetry, National Poetry Month. The month of April was reserved for these two things for sure, but it might be reserved for other things. But this segment is specifically for autism and poetry. So we're going to be talking about that on here today, okay? So thank you guys for tuning in. Hold on, that's the wrong one. Yes, guys. So a lot of you guys, I would be a better candidate for this type of segment, like I said on the podcast show last night, if I actually had personal one-on-one experience with the autistic person. But a lot of what I'm going to be saying here is strictly based off of research and maybe things I've heard through people who deal with autistic children or autistic family members. And one of the first things I'm going to mention here, guys, is that in 1972, the first official Autism Society campaign was launched as National Autistic Children's Week, which then later on led to Autism Awareness Month. But a year ago, it was switched from Autism Awareness Month to Autism Acceptance Month. And I think that's interesting. Of course, I'm about to stop and talk about that because, awareness and acceptance is two different words. And you stop and deliberate for a second about why it may have been changed from Awareness Month to Acceptance Month, right? It just proves that not many, still many people out here who just simply don't respect or accept the fact that autism is real. These people may not look like us or act the way we feel like they should act in public, or maybe they can't control them. It's just outside of the norm to a lot of people. And outside of the norm, what is that really? Just because you have majority of society that's born a certain way, maybe with 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 eyes, and a nose, doesn't mean everybody's born that way. So the purpose of this segment is to also stand with the autistic acceptance campaign this month, with just raising awareness and letting you guys know out there, look, we're all born different. And you're about to learn on this segment right now that autism can be hereditary. So it's not even the people's fault. This is not about Down syndrome, but I will compare them because they are two different things. But you don't know these things until you research it. And a lot of people don't even research it because they're like, well, I don't have an autistic child. I don't have an autistic family member. So they feel like, what do I have to research it for? Well, you're researching it, ma'am or sir, because you may run into this at a grocery store one day, at a restaurant, at your local laundromat, right? And it doesn't hurt you to become informed in an area or more knowledgeable in an area about something, a mental disability that some people are born with and deal with on a day-to-day basis, before you judge them. Before you judge that parent that says, man, she can't control her child. How you know her child is not autistic? But it's not her job to stop and tell everybody who's judging her, oh, my child's autistic. Please excuse the loud noise he's making. He doesn't really know how to act in social environments. He doesn't know the difference between being accepted, where it's okay to be accepted, when it's okay to feel uncomfortable about reciprocity, right? Like, they're kind of mixed up in that way, for real. So, you just want to respect all walks of life, because everybody's not going to look, act, or think like you. Number one reason, because they literally have a neurological brain disability. How can they control that? And to this day, they're saying there's no real cure for something like autism or Down syndrome. But let's keep hope that we do get a breakthrough in medical science one day. I mean, they've already advanced in many, many ways, but we want to keep hope alive and when it comes to that. Anyways, the main mission when the Society Campaign for Autism was started was to practically promote acceptance, spread awareness, and hopefully bring about a change to which I just talked about. Like, who wouldn't want to see a change, not just in the assistance that we offer for autistic patients, but a change in society in the way that they are treating and handling people who come from this type of walk of life. So if you didn't know the symbol of Autistic Awareness Month, it is the puzzle ribbon, a puzzle piece ribbon symbol, and the main color is blue, okay? April 2nd is officially Autism Awareness Day. And this was established, according to my research, by the United Nations in 2008. And the official name of this disability is Autism Spectrum Disorder. Though that's the official name of the main syndrome, there are at least 5, but not limited to, main categories of the autism disability, okay? That's going to be Asperger's syndrome, Rett syndrome, childhood disintegrative syndrome, Kanner syndrome, persuasive developmental disorder. Okay, those are 5 I named. 5 you can go research. If even today is your first time hearing about any of them, just inform yourself. You know what I mean? Expand your knowledge about other things, because people are born with mental health issues. Myself, for example, I'm not going to lie to y'all, I deal with anxiety. And see, there's different forms of anxiety. People think they know what anxiety is, so they just automatically know what I'm going through. But there's different forms and levels of anxiety, and so far, I've been diagnosed with disruptive anxiety. So what happens is, once I get focused on a main one-track mind of project or destination or something that I'm about to work on or do, I never know when it's going to come either. But let this be a success story and testimony to you guys out there, because I battle it by learning ways I can overcome it, or that can make my life easier, because anxiety is one thing, but when they said disruptive anxiety, I said that doesn't sound good at all. All it does, it's the type of anxiety that disrupts anything. It's like my brain knows that it's something I really need to do. I'll just start to procrastinate. All of a sudden get to worrying about who's going to be there, or am I going to be accepted. Like, it's very bad. It's not something you do on purpose. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all about. Even with autism, it might be something somebody is born with. Just like, what's the other word? It's lots of mental health disorders out there. I was trying to think of it. Bipolarness, schizophrenia, and stuff like that. You want to research this stuff. And it's really sad people only research it when they have somebody close to them or a family member that is dealing with it, and they're trying to find ways to help them. And then outside of that, they really didn't care to know about it. That's a problem, okay? Research proves autism can be hereditary, and surprisingly mostly passed down through fathers, more than 50% of their variants. And that's interesting. So that's something you probably didn't know. It's practically an abnormality in the brain structure or function, and brain scans over time have proved this. It also has proved, scientists and doctors, research and study has proved These people with autism are born with genetic mutations and sometimes low birth weight. Heavy metals and environmental toxins sometimes can be the cause that this happens to a child within the womb. Okay, and research has also proven that people with Down syndrome, interestingly, actually show less impairments when it comes to the comparison of Down syndrome and autism. They actually show less impairments than those with autism. And the three things that they do kind of compare one to the other when it comes to this type of research is going to be social impairments, communication barriers, and repetitive behaviors. Okay, there are some foods I have on my list here that have been proven to help when it comes to the diet and help the neurotransmitters and the function of the brain altogether when it comes to autistic patients. And these are going to be nuts, eggs, lean meats, and beans. Gluten-free foods altogether, most definitely. Ketogenic diets. For some reason, research has also proven that autism can be more prevalent or more common in males for some reason. So I thought that was interesting. I'll do more research on that. But you would think that's about right if it's mostly passed down through fathers, whatever that means, okay? There's some vitamins that people that are looking to heal themselves naturally or to kind of go through their autistic journey with a loved one or their child, they may want to depend on vitamins and other healthy supplements to help fight these brain barriers, okay? Omega-3 fish oil, sulforaphane, oxytocin, I hope I said that right, magnesium, vitamin B6, and vitamin D predominantly, and strategically is proven to help neurotransmitters in the brain, as repeated just a second ago. I hope I have shared, I know it wasn't much, but shared enough about autism to make you go do some research yourself and to research other mental health issues that are in any cultural community. Okay, that's what's funny. We can all try to live and walk our walks of life and live our traditions and cultures, but one thing that it's something like mental health issues is something that no matter what culture you are, scientists and research have already proven, you know, in the white community, the black community, Hispanic community, Chinese community, Saudi Arabia community, people are born sometimes with mental health disabilities. So it's more of a human thing than it is of a culture thing, right? So just do your research and learn to be more accepting to different walks of life. Get to know a person, get to know what they might be struggling with or going through before you judge them and mock them, okay? And then for Poetry Awareness Month, I just want to kind of make it known here on this segment that in 1996, the Academy of American Poets did somehow incorporate and finally get the month of April reserved for poets. Yes, the month of April has been reserved for autistic patients, awareness and acceptance, and also National Poetry Month, okay? And there are poets all over the world, both in history and in present today. And the goal of reserving the month of April for poetry was to kind of celebrate the right to expressiveness and appreciation of poetry, one of the lesser appreciated or explored genres in the literature world. So I thought that was interesting. As a publisher myself, the Poetry Foundation, Poetry Society of America, Academy of American Poetry Foundation. Some of these are just places you can find every year in the month of April, somehow giving their reverence and dedication to National Poetry Month, okay? Ways that you can celebrate or begin to support poets in some way, shape, or form, or the art of poetry. If you're a teacher out there, either homeschool, high school, educator of any form. It doesn't hurt to, in the month of April, maybe give assignments that tie into poetry. Maybe have your students show their expressive sides by writing a poem and you grading it and having them share it with the class, right? It's just some ideas. So you can support a poet somehow, maybe a poet of past, Shakespeare or somebody, or a poet in current time. Okay? I'm a poet too, guys. Y'all check out my ebook Black Blood on Amazon this month, okay? If you don't do it any other time this year, I don't advertise my books all the time on the segments, but it was my very first, when you do find Black Blood on Amazon under Arthur Tedasheri, it was my very first poetry attempt of a poetry collection, okay? But I'm growing as a writer, as many others are every day. You can also arrange or attend. This is a way you can just show your support to poets out there. Arrange or attend a poetry event. Poetry event could just be people coming to perform poetry, or you even putting it in contest form. Contest form are some of the most popular poetry events out there. So just remember that. And I did do a segment on how to start a poetry event if you are interested. That's going to be on under the Crown Content Publications channel on one of my segments as well. Or if you don't want to do any of those other things to support National Poetry Month, simply studying a poet of old or new could be a way that you support National Poetry Month. So we just wanted to give reverence on this segment today, with it being official date April 6, 2022. Knowing that April was reserved for its special things too. Y'all know we did our Black History Month segments on the Crown Content Publications podcast show. So every month I just want to do dedicated segments to specific causes and things like this that give reverence and appreciation and shed light and share awareness about certain topics and things like this. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to another segment with Crown Content Publication Services family, and until next time, we appreciate your support. Don't forget to check out the description section. If you're one of those that are wondering why my comment section is closed like that, I'm really just trying to get to 100 subscribers before I open that up, okay? But anyways, you're going to find the website, the link to the podcast. The website is going to be important for those of you who may be interested, for example, in putting your own poetry collection together. We do help you format and pretty much construct a book as a whole, but you're going to need to book a consultation. So clicking on that website is definitely going to lead you to how you can be able to do that. And once again, if you're a poet or author interested in some promotion or exposure on the Crown Content Publications podcast, where we are our show is marketed on platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Radio, and things like this, contact me at crowncontentpublications@aol.com. And until next time, guys, thank you. I don't know what happened there, but until next time, like I was going to say, thank you for your support.